I'm a striker. I'm a full-on striker, you know? So when it comes down to striking, Gypsy it's like I'm going to fight literally a clown. There's no fight here. First time I had a fight was literally at 3 years old. It sounds funny. You see, I'm a real man. Why real man? Because there's a guy who's a pro kickboxer who is an... Who am I? I'm a nobody. I'm just a guy that I'm the heavyweight champion shit talker of TikToker. If when we face off, he even looks at me the wrong way, he will go to sleep.
What would you do?
Knock him out.
What punch?
Elbow.
Well guys, if there are two things that good old bend over Azoulay is really good at, it is of course just embarrassing the living shit out of himself, while at the same exact time managing to piss off other people with complete and utter bullshit that he says and does. And the past 24 hours have been absolutely no exception, but instead he has managed to exceed expectations and has pretty much pissed off the entire MMA community, who are now on his head and exposing the living shit out of him to the point where they're releasing even further sparring footage that just makes him look like a jackass who has never fought in his life. So you already know that this is about to be a good one, because Bend Over is getting bent over by a bunch of MMA fighters now, and he is not too happy about it whatsoever, and as I'm sure you'll see later on, he is actually pretty fucking butthurt about it. So we're just gonna jump straight on into this shit because it has been a crazy couple hours, and take a look at all of the dipshittery that is occurring right now. And it all of course started due to Bend Over trying to release some bullshit ass sparring footage against an ex-UFC fighter who has been out of the game for like 10 years, where Bend Over did a whole lot of editing and did a whole lot of bullshitting to try to make this guy look like a bum, and to try to hide the fact that he was getting worked in that ring pretty much the entire time. And the footage he posted was only about 5 seconds of the spar, and was this right here where he was jumping in the air thinking he was doing some kung fu or some shit, when in reality he was just catching straights to the face. And it was already pissing off people from the MMA community, like Smiling Sam, who was just flaming the living shit out of this goober.
The child posted a video of his sparring. He is worse than we thought.
So, today I'm gonna spar him.
Ex-UFC fighter. This guy is the real deal.
To have made it to the UFC, you would have had to have been the real deal.
Jared, you feel it? Drop me in the ring, but
Jared could not have cared less that he was in a ring with you. See, his first move was to use his toes and drive them into Jared's shins. He doesn't know how to throw a punch. The monks he trained with taught him that if the chin is in the air and the feet are off the ground, you punch harder. I love how Jared sauntered around the ring, and Azoulay doesn't know what to do, so he just spins with him. Now I know I'm nitpicking because, well, you know what he does with children. But that was an awkward hug. If you're doing that bro bump, you just kind of top shoulders, pat each other in the back. That was like a full engription.
this is how you make brothers. You get in the ring like real men.
That's the next video on his only Azoulay's.
Thank you so much.
If you listen carefully, in the middle of that intimate hug, he whispers to Jared, "I wish you were 20 years younger." John, I know you're watching. Call out Azoulay. You'll win that one.
And of course, with him just flaming Azoulay nonstop now, and helping everyone call his bullshit out, there have been other MMA fighters that have been getting fed up and becoming aware of the downright clown shit that this guy is constantly on. And unfortunately for Azoulay, there was one MMA guy in particular that goes by Thor 818 on Instagram, who is now on his head hardcore, and who actually knew Jared, and got pissed off that Azoulay was trying to portray him as getting knocked on the floor and a bunch of other shit, and didn't portray it for what it actually was. And Thor started out with this post right here where he was replaying a section of Bendover's video and asking him why he wasn't putting any respect on Jared's name, before then starting to get into it a little bit and getting on Ben's shit.
We have an opponent, a guy named Jared, a guy that I've known for some time, and for some reason he's began really upset that I became extremely known and famous on social media. And he was really upset from some of the things that I've said, because he was in the UFC. And he was a UFC fighter, had multiple fights. I believe he was also in K1 or King of the Cage, one of those two, or maybe both of them. He's a great fighter, no one to take lightly. I knew him personally. I used to go with him to the same gym. After that, we hung out a couple of times with some mutual friends. He's a good guy, but the problem is that he feels emotionally attached to things that people see on social media.
Bro, I'm so tired of this guy. I'm about to end this whole situation, dude. You know, I go on social media and I see this guy. I know this guy pretty well. And I know it's all bullshit and he's trying to make his money, and that's great. But when you start disrespecting friends of mine and you make a video with the guy laid out on the floor like you beat him up, bro, yeah, okay, you sparred with Jared. Why don't you post the video, post the footage? I know you got it. I know somebody filmed there, bro. Post it. Okay, let's talk about who Jared Papazian is, because you only wanted to say his first name. He's a 135-pound fighter, bro. He's not a big guy, okay? So size does matter, okay? And he's been on the couch for 10 years, bro. So, you know, if you want to act like, bro, I don't know who you're fighting. That guy seems like a bum too. But don't go out and try to mess this guy's name up, okay? He actually did his thing in the UFC. You ain't done shit, bro. Okay, so stay in your fucking lane.
And as you can tell, Thor's calling him on his BS, and he was hinting at the fact that he knows that he has the full sparring footage, which we all know Bendover was not about to release under any circumstances and was going to do everything he could in his power to keep that from coming out. But not only that, but Jared also used to fight in a way lighter weight class than Bendover and is still way lighter than him, by probably at least 40 pounds if I had to guess, and has been out of the game for 10 years. But even with all of that in mind, the only footage that Bendover felt comfortable posting was like a 5-second clip that wasn't even a good highlight. So you already know this shit was going to start getting good. And as Thor went on, he even started to include little segments from the real footage that he had, where Ben was just catching the hands right to the face. And it only kept getting better as he got on this man's head.
Come out here and make money off of fighting. Never being a fighter, never fighting, doing nothing but capping, lying about 10,000 underground fights with the mob. When did you do that? When you were 14 or 15 years old, bro? What age? Was that before or after you trained with the Shaolin monk? Or was that during the time you were a special forces guy? Okay? You need to stop. You need to fucking stop. Okay? Here, why don't you know what? Here, swipe right, bro. You know, another thing that pisses me off, bro, you claim that people don't like you because you're Jewish, homie. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. How crazy are you, dog? People love Adam Sandler. That guy's Jewish. I love Adam Sandler, bro. Okay? There's a couple things that you did that you need to start taking responsibility for, my boy.
And yeah, Thor was just coming after this man on basically everything and anything, and he knew about all the fuck shit that he's constantly on. And you gotta love how he hits him with that little segment of him just getting straight up caught from the sparring footage, which you know does tend to happen when you're walking around the ring looking clueless with your hands down and your chin up in the open. But after this, Thor was not done whatsoever, because he then proceeded to post another video just making Bendover look stupid as shit, where he's trying to lie to Ryan Garcia to look cool, and he's trying to talk about how he's always sparring UFC fighters and he's just beating their ass so they no longer talk shit about him.
I had a couple of ex-UFC fighters told me I can't fight. They came to spar me because they said, you know, you never fought, you're not a real fighter. I beat the fuck out of them. Now they're speaking differently.
Yeah, nah, bro. You would probably fuck that Jason kid up, bro.
How old is this kid?
So this shit is just getting to be genuine comedy at this point, and only keeps getting better as more fighters saw Thor's post and started backing him up and just talking mad shit on Bendover, which of course Thor reposted it all. And I guess he had enough of Bendover being a bitch and not posting the full sparring footage, so he ended up posting it himself, and holy shit was it worse than I expected. Bendover looks like he has never thrown a punch before, and for some reason he thinks the only time you need to throw a punch is when you're leaving your feet, which by the way gives you no power whatsoever, along with him also refusing to hold his hands up and defend himself.
Good work. Good. Good kick. Break, boys. Break clean. Break clean.
And we're just gonna pause for a second, because as you can tell, this is telling a completely different story than that bullshit ass thumbnail he posted, where Bendover was really catching the hands, even when he would try to use his body weight and try to bully him since he's like 40 pounds heavier. Homie was swinging back and catching him with some heavy ass rights, along with just sticking him with the jab, as Bendover's throwing his kicks right into his shin. And with such a weight difference, and with Bendover apparently training every day, you would think this would be a lot more one-sided, but it only continued to look worse as it went on, which is to be expected when Bendover is running the natural chin-up, hands-down guard, which he must have learned from his kung fu master.
Go, come on. Break off. Let's break clean. Good. Go. Go. Action. Back to work, boys. Back to work. You don't have to kill each other, you know. We're working here, yeah? Good work, boys.
And of course, right there is exactly what happens when you have some of the most abhorrent timing when you're actually fighting and not just talking about it. And for somebody who's been in so many different fights and who fought for the Russian mob and all that shit, you would think that he would have a little bit better timing. But naturally, since he was getting his ass whooped, he just went for the common strat, and the common roidhead strat of just swinging for the fences, and he of course missed a good bit of them. So it just makes you wonder why in the fuck he would actually get in a ring and try to do this shit, when he should have known that he was about to get exposed for all of his lying bullshit. And to make matters even worse somehow, Bendover then got mad, messaged Thor in the DMs, and sent him a voice message where you can tell how mad he is because he's trying to rage bait Thor as hard as he can. And this is a tactic that he defaults to when he's super pissed off, which is just to try to rage bait his way into winning. And it doesn't work, and he just ends up sounding stupid.
Hey Thor, good week. I see that you've posted a lot of things, and you spoke to my assistant here, Jonathan. Just came out of Shabbat. Just want to share with you that, you know, it doesn't look good that you're trying to stir up something between me and Jared. I don't really appreciate it. I'm sure Jared doesn't appreciate it too. I just had a call with him. Anyhow, man, I could have posted the whole thing. I didn't post the whole thing. Whatever I did there on the part itself as the thumbnail, that is called clickbaiting. I know you don't understand marketing that well, because I know your place isn't doing that, you know, great, but I'm the #1 marketer in the world. I had over 1 billion views in the last 24 hours, thanks to all the idiots that make videos about me. And just so you know, I'm on another level. So this is the last voice message you'll receive from me. I know you're a nice guy, and you seem like a nice guy, but clearly you let your emotions get the best of you. And I won't deal with men that let that happen. You can't control yourself. Stoicism isn't part of you. And I just wish you the best of luck. But do me a favor. Keep my name out of your mouth, and I'll keep your name out of my mouth, as I obviously forgot that you existed. So, and if you're looking to fight me and stuff like that, my friend, just remember, I've never had a fight in my life, and I'm getting a stage with 30,000 people in the arena and millions of viewers and on pay-per-view. I pretty much skipped the line, and that's what you're upset about. And all the rest of the fighters that haven't made it are just upset. But let's be real. I know how to do shit. On the same level as Jake Paul knows how to do shit. So do me a favor. Just let's not speak about each other. As you already know, I'll never speak about you. And thank you very much. Have a great week, and good luck to you.
And yeah, first off, bend over. You did not get 1 billion views anywhere, and the only views you've actually gotten were for being a complete fucking jackass and dumb fuck, which is way different than actually getting views for being authentic or funny or anything else. You just get views because you get made fun of. And on top of that, this little humiliation ritual we've got going on still isn't done, because this jackass humiliated himself even further and pissed off the MMA community even further, because he went on a little talk show called Fred Talks Fighting and put on one of the biggest displays of jackassery that he possibly could. And during it, he's even talking about how he's been in thousands of fights, even though none of them have been in the ring, and tries to make the claim that he has been fighting since he was 3 years old, which is so ridiculous that it's actually becoming incredible.
Look, I'm telling you this, people think I'm some juice head. No, this is just me. This is me. There is nothing you can do. I'm telling you, I bring ex-UFC fighters to spar me, and they tell me, where have you been all these years? Why didn't you go in there? I said, because look at your face, how fucked up you look. You see me? I had 2 nose surgeries because I broke my nose 4 times when I was younger. I had to fix it. I couldn't breathe. I don't want to go get more nose surgeries. But this one here, I'm willing to go to the death. It's the first time of me getting in the arena. I believe it's going to be a cage from what I heard. So whether a cage or the ring, it's the first time that I'm stepping in there. But I fought many times before. Yeah, I had a couple thousand fights in my life.
Couple of thousand?
Yeah.
Oh, really? How do those 1,000 fights go?
Pretty well. They're all on the street. I used to fight every single day for a few years straight. For me, it was like a big thing. I loved fighting. Started fighting at 3 years old.
Oh, wow. Pretty young.
You have to understand, some people are trained fighters, some people are trained killers. He doesn't have the killer in his eyes. He's, unless he was John Jones in his prime, or unless he's one of the top people, there is not much that he could show me. Nothing I haven't seen before. So I bring in people that are ex-UFC fighters to spar me. And I obviously don't show the footage. I like to keep everything behind the scenes. But, at my size and at my speed and my knowledge and my abilities and my background, I used to fight for the Russian mob underground fights when I was like 14, 15, 16. So for me, it was the big thing. Fighting was my life. My dream was to be in the UFC. First time I had a fight was literally at 3 years old. It sounds funny, but in preschool, kindergarten, I smashed a kid with a semi-trailer, was trying to take away my toys, and it's crazy, but I know people look at it and laugh, but this is just me. This is my life. This is how I am, who I am.
And after that sparring footage bend over, I can assure you one thing, this is right now who you are and how you are, which is a pathological liar who lies about the dumbest shit on the planet for absolutely no reason, to the point where it's not even possible. There is no way you were fighting as a 3-year-old, and there's no way you've been in thousands of fights and are fighting all of these UFC fighters and all this other shit, because if that was the case, your face would be a whole lot more fucked up than it is right now with the fighting skill that you just displayed. And this interview just went on to consist of him being full of himself, as he then tries to put on the whole I'm doing it because I'm Jewish and I'm doing it for my people act. And it is all just so pathetic at this point that it's actually laughable.
I run in the mountains. I'm like the Jew from the mountains. I live in the mountains. I train with stones, you know, with trees, with bears. This guy is a joke to me. And a lot of people don't know that because I didn't go into the UFC and fought in the UFC. So what? That doesn't mean I'm not a fighter. I break baseball bats with my shin, you know? So I do a lot of jokes online where people don't take me serious. So when I come in and I annihilate him first round knockout, people are going to be shocked. They're going to say, wait, he paid him. No, wait, this was promised to him 3,000 years ago to this Jew, because the people that found out I was Jewish started coming at me with a bunch of death threats, hate, making up so many stories about me, calling me a fucking loser, no money, steroid freak, ugly, Jew fuck, all the Jews need to die. I never felt so much hate towards me in my life. And that, he doesn't understand. Gypsy doesn't even understand. But he's gonna get beat the fuck up, but he's paying for everybody's mistake. Everyone that came against me that I want to kill, he's stepping in the ring. He's gonna eat the shit that they gave me.
So you and Gypsy both have kind of two polar opposites. You both have very, very different beliefs. How do you think that affect the fight in terms of the build-up, the aftermath, and even the fight itself?
So, do you know anything about me?
Not too much, no, I'm honest.
So, as you see, I'm not sitting in a broken room. I'm sitting in my brand new Rolls Royce. I live in a $12 million home. I'm worth a lot of money. But just because I made a lot of money in my life, I never stopped training, because my real money is my physique. It's my health. This is where my real money is. But I don't have to go in there for this. I'm not getting paid much, you know? I'm literally doing this for my ancestors. My people who died in World War II. And this motherfucker sits there and says, gas the Jews.
And we're just gonna stop this fucking LARPing right there, because this shit is just completely ridiculous, and we know how inauthentic it all is. And I cannot believe that this man is as stupid as he is to actually get in a ring with somebody when he's been talking all this shit and has the fighting skill of a fucking walnut. But yeah, I guess we just really underestimated the stupidity. But with that said, that's enough of this shit for one day, and I just had to cover it because the MMA community is on this guy's ass. But if you enjoyed, please drop the sub and a like and join the Saints Mafia, where we are flaming all of these fake lames. And I'm out, watching Bend Over Azoulay get bent over yet again. In peace.
And this would have been a perfect fight for Andrew Tate, right? Two kickboxers. This would have been a perfect fight for Tate. But it's okay, I took the fight. And after that, I'm going to go avenge Tate.